yeah.
Live from the Lucas Oil Studios, it's Horsepower Hump Day. Because every NASCAR fan needs a push of the old bumper to get them over that hump.
Stop. Oh, my God.
Here's Kenny, Crash, Richie, and Cole. Let's get humping, boys.
Well, I got news for you, Freak Nation. NASCAR listens to SpeedFreaks. When we ask NASCAR to hold news until we go live, they do exactly that. We got all kinds of news coming in from NASCAR. We're going Southern California racing, Freak Nation. It's been one of the worst kept secrets over the last 2 or 3 months. Well, we finally, Crasher, can confirm we're going to San Diego on Father's Day to San Diego in 2026.
My favorite is that, okay, now we know this is officially going to be on the naval base, the middle of June 2026, like you just said, Kenny. But the code word for NASCAR going to San Diego over the last couple of months has been Maverick for the inner workings people.
Love that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For those who aren't in the know, Cole Cusimano back in the Freak Nation Lucas Oil Studios out of the Who's Gal there at Dover International Speedway. Maverick is in reference to what there, my friend?
Top Gun Maverick.
Oh, yeah.
Of course. Yeah, Top Gun Maverick was filmed there, the original Top Gun as well. Got some great promos from NASCAR Social. They've been killing it this year with some Top Gun, homage for this promotion, for this deal. And, yeah, looks awesome.
Freak Nation, thank you guys for being a part of Horsepower Hump Day here in the Freak Nation. Every Wednesday, 5 o'clock Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, Pacific. Gosh almighty. 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific, Wednesdays on YouTube. The website, speedfreaks.tv, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, as the kids like to call it nowadays. We might need to cut this baby a little bit short. Our daughter is getting out of school today. It's her first day of school, so we're going to have to cut out of here a little early, not a full hour show. So if we can keep freaking Cole and Richie from going back and forth about whether SVG should be in the playoffs or not, I think we might get out of here on time there, Freak Nation.
Well, if they're heated up, I mean, come on, if they're heated up, we just leave, and then they take over.
Yeah.
Might as well.
By the way, do you know what the story is about you being in jail, Cole Cusimano?
Me being in jail?
Yeah.
It's not fair.
No, what's that?
Yeah. Do we tell him, or do we just let
there
people...
something going on?
Yeah.
What did I miss?
He's just afraid to actually tell the truth, is all.
Yeah, we were talking about you doing the show from the Who's Gal Sunday night because you weren't here with us on Horsepower Hunt Day. You were going to Dover to try and get arrested because you wanted to go up the backside of Miles to Monsters.
Oh, yeah. That didn't work out, unfortunately. Marty Smith got to go inside Miles, the Monsters. Car race holding up. Freaking Chase Elliott and Kyle Larson got to go up there. Ryan Blaney. So I guess I don't get the street credits just yet, but maybe next year. We'll see.
Was it true that you were face down in the Who's Gal there in Dover International Speedway? Do you know what Who's Gal is, by the way?
I have no idea what that is.
It's a jail cell.
I felt like that for a majority of the weekend with how humid it was. It was absolutely brutal. So bad. Great experience, though. Great track.
It's good to have you back, man.
Happy to be back.
Good to have you back at the Lucas Oil Studios. All right, San Diego. It is now on the schedule. Chicago, the street course is now off the schedule, Crash Gladys?
For at least 1 year. Well, I think Richie's of the belief that it's never going to return. There are some people believing that Julie Giese and her gang are just going to hammer out some new details to make sure it returns, but doesn't upset the general public in the Chicago area as much as the last couple of years have. Only time will tell.
Richard C. Suave, why are you so strong on believing that Chicago will never come back?
I just have a feeling when they're saying pausing it, they're just trying to save face there. I don't think any of the seemingly from everything I've read, it seems like a lot of the Chicago politicians don't want to have anything to do with it. If they really wanted it there, they would be there in 2026 as well, and they're not. And when you go away from something like that, you just don't go back. I'm sorry, unless it's Chicagoland, in which case you can put a pause on Chicagoland and go back there for no good reason, starting maybe next year.
Because Chicagoland is so Lakeshore Boulevard. Lakeshore Drive.
Well, I think the big holdup is finding a new date for that race, which I thought 4th of July was great. It's an awesome event that they've had the last 3 years, but at the same time, weather's been a huge issue. outside of 2025. So
Right.
I think maybe once they hammer out a concrete date that works for the city that makes sense, then they'll go back there. I don't think it's going to be gone. I think it's a great event. I think the drivers like it. I think the community has really embraced it, and they've seen a lot of new eyes and new viewers come into the sport because of it.
In fact, your interview with Joey Logano, which is coming up here in the next 30 minutes, addresses that and the change of venues for NASCAR. Also, something to think about, Freak Nation, is the majority of the tracks that NASCAR runs on, it's owned by NASCAR or Bruton Smith's company. When you're going into a city like San Diego or Chicago, Los Angeles, you're negotiating with a shit ton of other people. And you've got to have these contracts, or at least a pretty firm freaking handshake, months, if not a year or two in advance, that we're going to be coming back. So I think if Chicago wasn't going to come back next year, it was already a done deal anyway. NASCAR was just trying to secure something in the process to fill that void of a street course, and fortunately for us, landed in San Diego. Because look, when you own tracks, we know what the bitch and moan has been about that for so many years. How come NASCAR and Bruton Smith own the majority of the tracks and can really dictate where the schedule is? But now they've finally wised up, and they're benefiting from some freaking city money.
City money.
Right?
Yeah. Well, this whole naval base racetrack layout for the San Diego 2026 race, NASCAR All 3 Series, that's some government money too, right? I'm just curious. U.S. Naval Base, for crying out loud.
It's pretty cool. I got to listen to Hauler talk on the way here. Amanda Ellis did a great job. Brought in the track president, Amy Lupo. She did a great job describing like how this event came about. It's a 16-month process, and they worked very closely to make sure this was a collaboration between the U.S. Navy and NASCAR. They want to ensure that it's going to be beneficial for the city, that they're gonna leave the city better than where they left it when they got there, which I thought was pretty cool. And I found it really cool that they brought out multiple naval officers and captains to various NASCAR events over the last 16 months to kind of sell them on having an event at this naval base. And they were astounded, all the guys they brought out there and women they brought out there. And they said, just wait until you see our flyover for these 3 events. So that got me really jacked up. I'm sure everybody else is too, hearing that.
So you're telling me this was 16 months ago that they began talks to have this race, and somehow this industry kept it a secret until about 6 months ago?
Yeah, pretty good job.
Whoa, that's the biggest miracle of this whole. Dang. Okay.
So that backs up my opinion on they knew that this was happening months ago, so they were okay. Whether they had to fill a void of Chicago or not, I'm not sure. But knowing that this was coming into play months ago, just had to have all their freaking, God, I almost used their freaking ducks in a row to get this thing done. Richie, do we have a layout of the track anywhere?
No, actually, I'm glad you brought this up. Cody, bring up the picture of the version of it that showed up in the NASCAR announcement video, which we can play here in just a minute or two because it was awesome. And it was one of the best things NASCAR's done in a long time. But this is the course as laid out in the official video that NASCAR put out. However, this, according to Ben Kennedy and others, they haven't completely 100% certified what the course layout's going to be. So this is what the work in progress track layout. As you can see there, you'll see that, you know what this reminds me of? And this, not to be Debbie Downer, but this reminds me a lot of, that's thermal, dude. I'm sorry.
Thermal?
Yeah. That's what that reminds me of. It's thermal, because here's the thing. This is on a naval base, dude. Like, you can't do what Chicago did, which is get...
Good point.
100, I don't know how many people went to the Chicago race. I'm just going to say it, 70,000+ people showed up there, right? You can pack a lot of people into Grant Park, and a lot of people showed up. This is going to be like 15, 20,000 people, if that, because according to Ben Kennedy, he said, although the event is on a military base, fans will be allowed trackside and urge those interested to go to the website and sign up. So I'm curious how many people are going to fit in here. And I'm not going to lie, like when this was first announced in the work, I thought this was going to be in downtown San Diego and this was going to be Long Beach 2.0. This
Right.
that's not the case. I'm sorry. This is going to be NASCAR's thermal, and I'm afraid it's going to fail because it's taking place on this naval base. I'm afraid the racing is not going to be good, and I'm afraid what we're going to see is they're basically going to try and turn this into a TV event so they can put those drone shots up and they can say, hey, look, we're racing near the water. We're racing near the water. And that's all it's going to be, and I'm afraid it's going to fail. I have a really, really bad feeling that this is going to fail, and I hate to say that because I've been the biggest advocate of NASCAR doing stuff like this, going to more street courses, trying different things, continuing to be innovative, and a lot of people have been excited about this. I'm just like, I saw the full announcement and I was like, that's it? I was expecting more. I want them to go downtown San Diego, damn it. That's where I want them. If you can put a street course in the middle of downtown Phoenix, like Formula One did back in the early 90s, if you can put a street course in the middle of downtown Chicago, if you can do it on Long Beach, which the streets are so goddamn tiny there, it barely is a race at this point, right? Like, I'm disappointed in NASCAR here. I was expecting a lot more from this event, even though I'm excited to go. Trust me.
There is that.
Richie.
No, I got to admit, the first thing that I thought of was how many people can really attend a naval base. So, yes, I'm right there with you on that. That's a little... did Bob Podcrass address it or something? And they said, yes, we're going to have fans?
Hauler Talk did, yeah.
Okay.
So they have, the Navy has what they call, I think it was an open base event, or open base events where they open it to the public for certain things. So yeah, they didn't disclose any like specific numbers, but just judging based off the layout they had there in that promo, it looks like a gigantic track layout. So I don't think that'll be an issue fitting people in there. It sounds like they're gonna have as many people in there that want to go show up. So I don't think that's a concern for me.
It's going to be a logistical nightmare because of...
It's not an island, right?
Of how hard it is to get there.
Yeah.
It's going to be really hard to get in and out of there, and it's going to be a nightmare for the Navy. It's going to be a nightmare for Coronado and for NASCAR to get as many fans as maybe they'd like to show up there.
I can agree with that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still excited about it. I agree with you in a sense to where I would have liked to see this run actually in the streets of San Diego.
Yeah.
But I do have a great appreciation for NASCAR and their ability to team up with the military. I've always loved the Coke 600 for that reason. I think NASCAR and the military go hand in hand, and seeing as they're working so closely with the Navy, and it's the 250th anniversary, it's a pretty big deal. So I think they'll go above and beyond to make this a huge event.
Do we know? I mean, do you guys realize what next summer is? It's not just the U.S. Navy. It's the United States in general. It is the United States 250th birthday. So all these things are going to start. You brought up the Coke 600. The Indy 500 and Coke 600 are going to be nothing if not completely military USA proud based. That's going to start the summer, and then we're going to go into this just 2 weeks later in San Diego. Wow. And then 2 weeks after that is going to be 4th of July. Who knows what's on the tap for that? And then we're going to end it with Labor Day weekend. Who knows, again, what's going to be on tap? It's going to be an amazing summer. All next
That's
summer.
another thing that I think we learned today from Ben Kennedy is that they are still trying to figure out which race is going to be on July 4th weekend in 2026. Because according to NASCAR, we are expecting the schedule to be released within the next month or month and a half or so. And that's probably seemingly the one glaring thing missing is what is going to get that Chicago date, that July 4th prime weekend. Only thing I can say for certain is it's not going to be Daytona because the city of Daytona, they do not want it back. They do not want the Pepsi 400 back or whatever they want to call it, Coke 400, whatever the hell it's called anymore. They do not want that back on July 4th weekend.
Yeah, there's the beaches. Well, I think it's just the beach, the traffic on the beaches then, and that entire city. It's just a different 4th of July, which is arguably one of the reasons Chicago on July 4th didn't work. They already had a very well-established July 4th celebration. Many shows going on, and what am I going to talk about this? Shut the streets down in their own right to do their own things. Yeah, whatever. Watkins Glen. I bet Watkins Glen could slide in there.
That'd be cool. I mean, that was my one complaint, if anything, was the date they selected. I think Father's Day weekend is going to be really cool, but I would have liked to see this run on 4th of July weekend. Which,
same,
I mean,
same.
I don't know how the weather is, whatever that is, 2-3 weeks out from where it's scheduled right now.
It's going to be pretty good.
But either way, I think San Diego has perfect weather year round. So that would have been a cool, I think, 4th of July weekend event for me. Good substitute for Chicago.
And if we go back to events, I wonder if that hotel, Coronado, was just like, we've got our hotels already booked. Our events are already booked. Don't you dare do this to us.
Well, Kenny was talking about the parking there.
Parking is a nightmare.
They heard Kenny.
You think we're past those, oops, I didn't think about that moments in our lifetime. But again, looking at the logistics here, you hope that they have something figured out here, because if you've ever been on Coronado, it's a freaking island. And it's an island on a street grid that these streets aren't very wide. And I told you already about the bridge issue, about getting over to the island. Is it a case of, because if NASCAR limits this to 15,000 people to watch this race, or 20,000 people, man, you talk about the blowback. I know it's all about ratings. It's all about TV. It's all about the exposure. But we know how NASCAR fans are. If they get shoved to the side just to have a pretty freaking picture on Father's Day on a base saluting our troops, damn, that's pretty short-sighted as far as I'm concerned.
I will say, and there's I didn't grab the clip from Ben Kennedy specifically, but I did bring up thermal earlier, and Ben Kennedy was asked about if there's any limitations like IndyCar had at thermal, and Ben Kennedy said no. So that's a little bit better.
I mean, not some pompous country club,
Right?
You know?
Yes, exactly. It is just that's a pompous Navy base instead. We do have some clips from Ben Kennedy. I will play them. Not a lot from Ben Kennedy. It was mostly just kind of coach speak, and so we didn't really learn too much. But we did bring up kind of the idea of what this course is going to look like. So, Cody, if you want to get the one ready where he's talking about the course layout. And this is Ben Kennedy talking about how the course layout is still kind of a work in progress.
Yeah, for sure. It's a good question. So what we have done in the past, and you can use Chicago as an example of this, is we'll typically lay out different renditions of what the course could potentially look like. That will be mostly our design development team, our competition team that's based out of Concord at the R&D Center. And then that is in collaboration, obviously, with the location of the naval base here, and then our industry as well. So I would say the biggest voices that we'll hear from are our drivers. So we had a small sample of drivers get on iRacing, and they turned a few laps around the course. They've shared a lot of feedback to us about straightaways, corners, runoff areas, all the things that we would consider from a safety perspective, but then also from a competition perspective, making sure there's good passing zones, making sure that we have an adequate pit lane that's long enough and wide enough to be able to service all the vehicles. We'll get a lot of that information from our drivers, and now that it's been announced, we'll probably have a larger sample size of drivers that we'll be sharing it with, and then our OEM partners and teams as well. So it's really a collaborative process that we've been able to create with a lot of them, and it's turned into races like the streets of Chicago. We've gathered feedback on a lot of our road courses and other similar types of tracks.
Richie, can you share with the Freak Nation where he's doing this press conference from?
He said earlier that he's actually doing this from he said, let me bring it up here. He said, welcome from the world famous iBar at Naval Base Coronado here in San Diego.
Is that the bar from Maverick?
Who knows?
That they have that one scene in where...
No.
That's at a Kansas City barbecue bar place.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, my
I've been there once before. It's really good.
Because it looks like a green screen or one of those Zoom
It
backdrops.
does. That's what I thought. That's what I thought too. Can you here? I'll mute it so we can hear. Can you play that again just so we can see the background?
We can see if he's...
Yeah, there. That does not look real.
No.
It really
Okay,
doesn't.
hold on. I'm looking at his hair. See if it's...
Well, now, let me tell you why it's not why it's real. Because I am so proud to be part of SpeedFreaks for 25 years and knowing that my set is nicer than a company that's worth $3 to $4 billion announcing a damn race in San Diego. Go back to it. Look at the freaking stand-up of the San Diego logo. It's on a freaking post. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? They don't have a superimposed logo or anything. No, it's on a freaking stand on a tripod. Look at that.
Couldn't
You're
put, like,
worth
a stool
$4
in
billion,
front of it?
and that's what you got, baby.
Okay, well here's the thing. Here's the thing. You can stop. We don't need to see any more of Big Kennedy.
That is a cool bar.
Because they spent all their money on the damn promo. We can get that ready,
Oh,
Cody,
this is
so we can
good.
take a look at this. We're not going to play the whole thing. It's 3 minutes long, unless you guys want to see it again. But so maybe play the first little bit of it. But
right.
they spent all their money seemingly reproducing their own version of Top Gun. So yeah, go ahead and play the promo here, Cody. Take a look at
Son, this is a Navy base, not a playground.
Sir, have a look.
this. Peaches, is that his nickname?
So you think you got what it takes to fly with the Navy?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll give you one shot. Bring him in.
Zamboni, Logano,
Can I get another cocktail?
Hot Shot, Hocevar, Riz, Gregson, William Boring, Byron.
Gentlemen, you are here because NASCAR wants you to have a street race on this base.
Hey, this is pretty sick, huh?
Oh, you think this is sick? If you want to race here, you got to show honor, courage, and commitment. You boys think you know speed? You haven't felt real speed. They're gonna flip you. They're gonna twist you. And just when you think you've reached your limit, they're gonna punch a hole in the sky and drag you with them.
Hey, Clyde, you gonna do some of that pilot shit? Can't be any worse than you're driving. Sick burn, Peaches.
Speaking of sick,
The Burning Carpenter's not gonna like that. Hey, boys, I feel the need. I feel the need. Seriously, guys. Need for speed. Speed. Does this thing go any faster? Hell yeah, boy.
Not bad up there, gentlemen. But let's see how you handle this next mission. This is NASCAR street course, and that is the Navy security force. You make it to the finish line without getting caught, and you have my respect.
look at this turn. We need to split up. Let's just steal one of these fucking helicopters over here.
Dude, we're so done.
We're screwed.
Thinking what I'm thinking?
Yeah. Why did we not bring SDG? Guys, I got an idea.
Outlaws.
Lights on. You think we can outrun them?
It ain't the car, it's the driver.
Man, this course is sick. We're almost to the finish line. We lost him. We got him.
Gentlemen, we set the standard, and you matched it. And I am pleased to say that you belong here with us on this sacred ground.
Let's get to work on bringing NASCAR to the Navy.
Okay, I think we can get a moratorium on Gregson saying sick. Okay, there were a few too many of those. Let's come up with another word.
How much money do you think NASCAR spent on that?
it's
and
several million.
do you think? Okay, here's my problem with that: is the flying scenes were completely fake. I don't think you could tell. No, you don't. You don't
They're
act like.
fake in Maverick and in Top Gun too.
No, they were actually flying those dang planes, Crash. Okay, they're there, but you can tell. When I think that was Noah Gragson. I was like flailing around like an idiot. No, you don't do that in an actual plane. So NASCAR spent all their money on that promo, and they couldn't actually put them up in planes, seemingly.
Well, Richie, as a country, you know how some of those swags out there like to bitch and moan about our tax dollars. Our tax dollars are paying a bunch of hillbillies to go up in a freaking...
They do that all the time, though.
I know they do.
That's so true.
I'm not... I agree. I'm just saying we just like to find shit to bitch about here in this country.
Especially NASCAR fans.
Yeah.
Kidding me?
Yeah.
Lynn chiming on YouTube and said this 3-minute promo is going to be better than the race.
I mean, there's a lot of long straightaways there. I think the racing's going to be decent. Should it be that? I mean, that's not finalized, but there's a lot of long straightaways, decent amount of turns. I think it'll be good. High speed.
I feel the need.
The
The need for speed.
I don't remember my opinion what my opinion was when Chicago Street Course dropped.
You were stoked. If I remember correctly, you were stoked because it was dropped in the center of Chicago, going past the museum, going down Lakeshore Boulevard, going down. Yeah, yeah.
As far as the racing goes, I don't remember.
Lakeshore Drive.
Who knows?
I keep confusing the two. Sorry.
Look, I'm going to take the other side of this. Props to NASCAR for doing this. Again, other series, other freaking sports should learn from these guys to continue to evolve. I know there was some bitching and moaning from Mark Martin getting it in a little tussle with Larry Mack and Danielle Trotta on Sirius XM about, again, the point system and playoff. I give them credit. They continue to try new things as an organization. Props to them. Mm-hmm. I mean, every damn time we know what the NHRA scales are going to be, Crasher. We know every track that they're going to run on every single freaking time.
Yes. There's something to be said for consistency, but there is also a boredom that comes from that. And yeah, I mean, at least fans know how to plan their spring, summer, and fall. But at the same time, it's like, I need something more. I've done this for 5 years. Something needs to change. So yeah, change is necessary to keep up with the times. And you're right. Kudos to NASCAR for being at the front of change.
Well, that's why they're the most popular motorsport in America. You got to innovate. Got to innovate. If you don't innovate, you're going to die. So.
Yep.
Wow, that's brilliant.
Right? Yeah.
Did you learn that in Dover?
Yeah, I did. Miles told me.
Oh, that's cool.
Do we want to get into the whole Mark Martin, Daniel Trotta thing?
It pissed me off yesterday, dude. I was so mad. Well,
share with the Freak Nation what we're talking about. Then we'll get to Joey Logano. We got to get the hell out of here. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So Mark Martin has been over the past, I think, really all year. He did an in-depth interview with Kenny Wallace earlier this year on Kenny's YouTube page, and Mark Martin has probably been the most outspoken former driver against the current playoff system. He's been very, very vocal about wanting to go back to the full season points system. So that's kind of the setup here. We go to Sirius XM Radio, Daniel Trotta, who you see on the TNT broadcast, Larry Mack. He's been in the sport a long time, former crew chief on Fox Sports, et cetera, et cetera. They were having a conversation on Sirius XM, and they threw Mark Martin's name a little bit under the bus, and that created an entire firestorm. Cody, if you want to pull this up so we can listen to a little bit of this. I don't even know how long is this clip. I should have edited.
Did they use his name, or they just say a certain? They didn't use his name. Just they said a certain driver.
We don't have to play the full clip. Never mind. We're not going to play it. But yeah, basically, Larry Mack they were talking about the playoff system, and Daniel Trotta was like, "Oh yeah, I enjoy the current playoff system. It rewards consistency, et cetera, et cetera." And Larry Mack made a comment about, who's the one person that is so adamant against the current playoff system? Oh, it's a former driver who's never won a championship. And that created the firestorm. And so Mark Martin and Daniel Trotta got into it on Twitter a little bit. And they had a little bit of an exchange going back and forth. They've since made up apparently today, Crash, I saw.
Yes, she mentioned in a tweet that they had a discussion. It was a healthy discussion. They will agree to disagree. And she went on to say, I can't stand how, and kudos to her for this. I can't stand this, I'm paraphrasing, how people took my words out of context and assumed something that was not true. Mm-hmm. So, hey guys, as a fan base, we need to be better. She's right. She's absolutely right with that. Before assuming something, get the full context. They did mention a driver, a non-champion driver. Did they say former? Because I don't believe they said
active.
Former.
No, it's active.
I thought they,
active in the committee. And that points to Denny Hamlin.
That's Denny Hamlin.
But regardless, so when this first came out and all the talk was that it was about Mark Martin, I was thinking to myself, if that was like a dig at Mark Martin for not winning a championship and he's advocating for this format, that should speak volumes because he didn't win under that format and he's still advocating for it. So
yeah, right.
I think either way, it's kind of stupid to argue about it. It's just NASCAR fans looking to complain, as they always do.
Mm-hmm. And if we're going to be completely honest, I mean, it's not like it's a secret. Mark Martin was robbed of a championship, so he should be a champion. So yeah, there's a lot of different layers here. That
it's like, I mean, Kenny, you were just referring to it, and Cole, you were too. Is like the sport needs to continue to innovate, and I'm so sick of NASCAR fans who are so stuck in their ways, and all they do is complain and whine. And for whatever reason, this NASCAR has said, on record multiple times that they are not going back to the full season points. So stop your bitching and complaining, NASCAR fans. I'm so freaking sick of you. There's one account who I swear to God, all they do is that they just mine engagement and all. I kid you not. I'm not, you know exactly who it is because I quote tweeted him on SpeedFreaks today because he got something wrong. He's like, look at all these other motorsports that don't have a playoff. And he put the NHRA in there. Bro, if you're going to talk about playoff systems, at least get your shit right. Like, NHRA has a playoff system, so how can you talk about all these other motorsports and you get it completely wrong? No, know your shit, dude. Anyway, he pisses me off all the time.
That account is Opinions on NASCAR. I don't know what the @ is, but the name is Opinions on NASCAR.
Yeah, exactly. And all he does is bitch and moan, and don't freaking watch, bro. Why are you even watching?
Louder.
I'm so sick of these freaking fans, dude. It's like, I'm going to compare it to baseball a little bit, where baseball for the longest time was very similar to NASCAR, and they were so stuck in their ways. They would not change. Bud Selig is one of the worst commissioners in the history of baseball. He was not open to change, and Rob Manfred comes in and they bring in the pitch clock. They're going to have automatic balls and strikes next year, and baseball has been better off for it. And because there was a while where I think people were tuning out of baseball and they were like, oh shit, we got to change.
There was a long while.
We got to change. And NASCAR has been smart enough to understand that. And they've changed, and for the most part, they're doing a good job of maintaining they're still the most watched motorsport in the United States right now.
Yep.
That's plain and simple.
By far.
But so they're doing things mostly correct. I just hope that they continue to change enough to just get rid of all these old frickin' NASCAR fans. Goodbye. See you later.
Old thinking.
Get out of here.
Old thinking
yes.
NASCAR fans. Okay.
Yes, exactly. I don't want you in the sport anymore. Goodbye.
That was a stellar rant.
Get rid of your Confederate flags and all your crap. See you later. Don't want you around.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Thank you very much. Okay, now we can get to Joey Logano. Okay. I feel better
And
now.
I'll
I'm not going to be here on Sunday, so I had to get that out of my system.
Valid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fortunately for the English Premier League, the way they run and work their championships, it, for the most part, Richard, works out. IndyCar, it works out. And both of those, they do not have any type of a playoff format. Unlike this year with Alex Palou running away with the damn thing.
First time in 15 years.
Okay, sorry. I thought you were about to give me, there is still a chance, Kitty.
No way.
Supercross does not have, motocross does not have a playoff. It, for the most part, works out.
I mean, they have their new like super motocross championships now, which they just implemented a few years ago.
But gosh, again, that you want to go back to 1992 in NASCAR. You want to go back to 1986. You want to go back to those when some. No, it's about money, man. It's about maintaining an audience for the full 30 plus, 36, 40, whatever races they decide to do next year across the NASCAR formats. And settle down, old thinking guy. Hey, Koku Samano had a chance to catch up with. The guy's got some decent thoughts. Sometimes his thoughts are pretty old, white guyish. But in NASCAR Cup age, he's kind of old. But as far as our age is concerned, he's not. Friend of the Freak Nation has been in here several times over the last 4 or 5 months. Koku Samano, you had a chance to catch up with Joey C. Logano, right?
That's right. Joey Logano, back out there in Dover, made his 600th Cup Series start. Had a pretty solid run. But, yeah, I got to catch up with him about his media tour on the East Coast, making that 600 start, and, of course, reflecting back on his career to this point through 600 starts in conjunction with, obviously, Freak Nation's 25th anniversary. So. I guess let's start there. First off, when's the ESPYs nominated for Driver of the Year? What was that event like for you?
It was pretty neat. You know, it's just a unique environment for me, right, to get to go to something with all sports included. We didn't get the ESPY, unfortunately, but it was still cool to be there, got to present an award, and you'd see a lot of really cool people and see how they do it there. So it was a neat experience.
What do you think of Shane Gillis and his monologue? That was the big talk of the night, I feel like.
Oh, that was hilarious. There were some awkward moments in the crowd, which made it even funnier to someone like me because I love an awkward moment. So it was good. There's times he said jokes and it was more like instead of the laughs, it was like the it made it funny to me.
And your next media stop, you went to Jimmy Kimmel Live, but Jelly Roll was guest hosting. So what was that like for you? Talk with Jelly Roll about your racing upbringing and whatnot?
I thought it was a blast. Jelly Roll seems to be like a great guy. I met him a couple times now, and both times he's been super nice. And he did a great job hosting the show, and they did a great job preparing and being prepped. And the whole team there did a really good job at getting everything ready. So it was a good week out there. Those are two pretty big hits, right? I mean, for us to be able to be in in front of all the sports, and then really outside of what the NASCAR stuff we typically do is a big win for the sport in general. So it's good to do. 600
starts this weekend here at Dover. Just first off, what does that mean to you to have 600 starts in the NASCAR Cup Series?
Yeah, my first reaction is like, oh, it's just starts. But at the same time, I think, well, I've been able to stick around for a long time. That's pretty cool, right? I mean, I go back to my Gibbs days, and I was pretty certain at one point that I wasn't going to get to 300, forget 600. But now to be able to hit that milestone, it's definitely neat. I remember when, you see, I remember watching Kansas hit it, or Truex, and they hit the 600 start thing. Like, that's a long ways away for me. And I'm kind of here now, and it went by quicker than I thought. But yeah, still got some time to go.
Dover being your home track, being a Connecticut guy, what does it mean to make this historic start at your home track?
Yeah, I mean, I've always considered Loudon to be my home track. It's a little closer to home, but both of them being close by, obviously the two tracks that are up towards the New England area. But yeah, I mean, I started my first Xfinity race here, so there is a little bit of full circle moment there for me back in 2008. So yeah, I mean, it's special. Be more special to win, right? Like, race wins mean more than race starts. But it is definitely an accomplishment to be able to be in the sport this long, and be able to, prove yourself enough to stay here, but also have an impact in a lot of different ways that way too.
You've had a very illustrious career, 37 wins, 3 championships, but still chasing that first Miles the Monster. Is that one trophy that you've always wanted in your case? What's that Miles the Monster trophy like for you? I guess in the rankings of trophies.
As far as coolness of trophies, yeah, it's up there pretty high. It's a pretty cool one. So you put the die-cast card in his hand, it looks cool. I got 4 of the little ones from the Xfinity races, but I'd trade every one of those for a Cup win. Obviously, Cup wins mean a lot more. So I would like to do it. Just hopefully this is the weekend to do it.
SpeedFreaks celebrating 25 years, and over the years we've seen a lot of nasty wrecks, crazy moments. One that comes to mind for Dover is your barrel roll here back in 2009, your rookie season. What do you remember from that day back then?
Just a roll. I don't remember anything else from that day. It was a long time ago. Okay. But I remember the roll pretty clearly. The whole moment of being in there, obviously it's a pretty traumatic experience when you're inside a race car and it's flipping over. I just remember it being the longest wreck forever. Just kept going. You just kind of got on its side and just kept rolling like a basketball basically down the hill. Just thinking, man, is this thing ever going to stop rolling over? And it did eventually, but it took a while. I just remember just hoping it landed on its tires. So just land on its tires so it's easy for me to get out. They could have gone to commercial and come back, and I still would have been flipping.
NASCAR announced a couple days ago that they're putting a pause on the Chicago street course. Just overall thoughts on that? Maybe the return of Chicagoland? Just overall thoughts on the event, taking up a hiatus for a little bit.
I mean, I'm okay with it. I'm a big fan of moving the schedule around and doing things differently all the time. I think as a sport, we kind of seeing that 3 years is kind of the perfect amount. I think, and if you give too much of one thing, it's not special anymore, right? You got to create cool events and make them special. And, I think Chicago's been a special event, and it would be again. But if you do it too much, it just becomes, it's Chicago again, and right, like it was the LA Coliseum again. Well, the first time it was amazing. Right, so I think you got to think a little bit about changing the schedule up, moving different places like that, especially those kind of events and those type of races. It can move anywhere.
Can I get a nice oh?
Whoa, he's on to something there. He is on to something of, okay, maybe bring Chicago back, but have these massive events in little tidbits. Whoa, I'm kind of liking what he's putting down there. San Diego, let's have this for 3 years, and then let's go somewhere else fun. Ooh.
Actually, that's I brought up Major League Baseball earlier. That's kind of what they've been doing lately with some of their marquee events. Like, you remember they did the Field of Dreams game for a couple years, right? And then they took that away, so it was made it a little bit more special. Then they did the game at the Negro League field, which was awesome, and I don't know if they're going to do that again. And now coming up next week, they're going to do the damn game at Bristol Motor Speedway, for goodness sakes, right?
Yeah, those uniforms, by the way, are freaking sick. Have you seen them?
Those are
tight.
cool.
Oh, man.
Yeah, they're good.
Less is more, though. I agree with Joey.
Compared to like the NHL, who does like, they used to just have the Winter Classic, and it was such a special event because it was the only outdoor game. And then eventually they're like, hey, no, what we want more of? Let's do 6 of those a year. And now just like nobody cares now.
It's lost the luster.
Yeah.
True.
We have a comment in YouTube before we go.
Go ahead.
Len says, Cole, dude, you are short.
Yeah, no shit.
Joey's tall.
Story of my life. Yeah, I know.
All right. Nice interview, man. You got some good stuff out of it,
That was
man.
great stuff.
I mean, I'm not used to the on-camera stuff, so it was a good, I guess.
You were a
jump into
scribe,
that.
dude. You were a scribe. You had your notebook in your hand. Looked like you were holding your freaking pager from 1992 to his mouth.
Yep. Yeah, so first of many more to come, hopefully.
That's the thing about Joey, though. He's improved so much to where he'll give you a long, may not say a whole lot, but he'll give you a long freaking answer. And plus, he got some freaking points to earn some of those.
I was just going to say, okay, so his ESPYs, who won the first half of the, what is it, the NASCAR Media Millionaire thing?
It was Joey.
It was Joey Logano. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Max won the ESPY, by the way. Undeservingly so.
Max won the ESPY. Okay, but Joey won the media thing in amongst the NASCAR drivers. Joey just right there got extra bonus points for the ESPY appearance, extra bonus points for you, Cole, and then extra bonus points for Jimmy Kimmel.
Yep.
Yeah.
Joey knows how to work the system.
Yes, he does.
That's awesome.
Hey, I was talking about going back to 1985 in NASCAR. Do you want to go back there with the way they awarded the championship? So I went back to 1985 NASCAR Winston Cup Grand National standings.
Okay.
11 wins, 11 poles, top 5s, 16, top 10s, 18. Bill Elliott.
Okay. And he ran away with it. What was the point gap between first and
The
second?
money he won, again, $1 million bill, $2 million.
85.
It was a lot back then.
Yeah, no.
And he lost to Darrell Waltrip.
Wait. Oh, wait. That wasn't the champion.
No. You know how we bitch about the importance of wins?
Yeah.
Bill Elliott's 11 wins to Darrell Waltrip's 3. Darrell Waltrip, the prize money was $702,000. $1 million bill, $2 million
For second
and
place.
change.
Second ain't
Harry
the first
Gant
loser.
at third at $581,000.
Hey, boy got paid.
Yep.
Darrell Waltrip won and only got $700,000 for that. The title.
According to ESPN.com. Right about that. All right, Freak Nation, we'll do it again this Sunday night. Richard C. Suave will be hanging out with our good friend. Are you're going to San Diego? Is that
I am going to San Diego. I can do some recon. Do you think
do.
you think they'll let me onto the naval base?
Try it.
Just do it. Just do it. Yes.
Well, are you going to have a rental car? Are you driving?
No, I'm driving my hoopty.
Can you drive part of that course?
That means he has to get on base.
Is all of that course on the base?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
So they will not allow me on.
I believe in
think.
you. You can do it.
Will you just put a GoPro on your head and just bust through the gate?
I don't think so. I'm not going to the what did you call it at the beginning of the show? The
Who's gal?
The who's gal. Yeah, I ain't winding up there.
Bro, I would hate to go in the naval. What do they call the
brig?
Yeah, the brig. The brink or the brig? It's the brig, right?
The brig.
Yeah. I would not want to go there. All right, Freak Nation, Dale Earnhardt with 4 wins in 1985. Yeah, he finished 8th.
Still less than the champion who had third.
Jeffrey
3 wins,
Jeffrey
I mean.
Bodine, 0 wins, 3 poles, 10 top 5s, and he finished 5th.
Oh, my God.
Dale Earnhardt with 4 wins finished 8th.
Sounds like a broken system to me.
Hey.
It was fixed
Imagine
20 some odd years
Imagine
later.
pitching a playoff back then to these guys.
Oh, jeez.
All right, Freak Nation, we'll do it again Sunday night. Be sure you're here. If you miss us on Sunday night, we're there for you at 12 p.m. Eastern and Pacific on Racer Network. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and on Facebook. By the way, we lost last weekend in Beat the Freaks. Congratulations
that's
to.
right.
Do we have that somewhere?
Was her name Holly? Or yep, there it was.
Holly, we need to reach out to you on the Twitter.
Crushed it.
Wow.
She beat our ass.
Yep, she did. Well done.
And she had Hamlin, Bowman, and Elliott, I want to say.
I think so.
That's a pretty good squad right there.
Freak Nation, follow us on Twitter for your shot at winning a set of General Tires for Beat the Freaks. Later.